bright future. Every student matters.
Then it comes about that the case study, Bihar, Magadha and the Vajji Confederacy. So this we are coming to discuss now. Actually, what the case study, first of all, we will have to focus on this, the Magadha. Then after that, we will have to discuss about Vajji. So the Magadha comprised the area now known as Bihar and Jharkhand. The kingdom rose to prominence in 700 BC. It was a monarchy and Magadha had several advantages over the other Mahajanpadas. Many advantages were there. Why this has become a very powerful kingdom or powerful Mahajanpadas, what were the reason behind it? So there were several advantages to this land, which also the geographical support was also there, climatic condition also supported, as well as the people and the natural resources. On the basis of that, this land has become very prosperous and very famous. So first of all, it comes about that it was situated in close proximity to rich deposits of iron ore in the area. And iron was used to make more effective tools and weapons. Before that, the iron is more durable. The tools which has been made by iron were more durable. So this is one of the most important factor. Then it comes about that rivers like the Ganga and Bhagirathi provided ample water for irrigation and made the soil fertile. Not only that the water has been provided by these rivers, but the soil fertility is also been increased because during the flood, during the monsoon season, these rivers are getting flooded. There the volume of water increased, and when the flood is settled down, after that the retreating of the monsoon, when the monsoon gets ended, at that time what happened, the water flows back or settled down. So wherever they flow, with this the monsoon rain and with the excessive flood water, they bring fine silt also with them, which is deposited by them. So that way the rivers also used not only provide the abundance of water for irrigation, but also they increase the fertility of the soil. These rivers also acted as means of transportation. The dense forest cover of the area provided timber for building carts, chariots and houses. These all are the factors which brought prosperity to the Magadha. Building carts, chariots and the houses, in those days they were great in demand. So Magadha had a thriving trade relation with other regions, including the South India. South India means with the help of the water bodies, they easily reached to the southern coast. The inland was trade and business was also been done. Profits from trade also helped the king to maintain a large army, because the king and the kingdom has just collected enough revenue, enough taxes, and which has supported the king to maintain a very large army. Magadha was protected by nature. Now the role of nature. The old capital of Rajgriha was surrounded by hills on all sides. Present day it is in Jharkhand now, but it is a very beautiful place. So it is surrounded by the hills, and the Rajgriha is situated inside the hill. From all the sides, the new capital Patliputra, which is present day capital of Bihar also, situated on the river Ganga, these were natural barriers against any attack on the kingdom. So this is also one of the reason, because in previous slide only we have discussed about that continuous they have a war and conflict with one another. So this way this territory of Magadha is been guarded and protected by the nature also. Although they have the very large army, but nature also gives that the full support for its growth. So these were the natural barriers against any attack on the kingdom, and Magadha rulers were very efficient, which led to its extension and prosperity. Other than that, these rulers were also very efficient. They were very taking, means the caretaker of their territorial boundaries. Then Bimbisar. Then now we are coming to discuss about the ruler of Magadha, Bimbisar. Bimbisar, his time period is mentioned over here is 542 BC to 492 BC. He ruled over Magadha and he was a capable ruler, very efficient. His capital was Rajgriha. Bimbisar was a great devotee of Lord Buddha. The Jain Tirthankara Mahavir also received much support from him. Both the religion, Buddhism and Jainism, they were contemporary. And Bimbisar has given his full support to both the religion. He increased his power and the prestige of the kingdom through conquest and the marriage relations. Not only through the conquest, but even though the marriage relations also, he was very interested. He conquered Anga. Another Mahajanpada, the region to the east of Magadha. He married Kosala Devi of Kosala and received the town of Kasi as dowry. Kasi means Varanasi, present day Varanasi. He received as a dowry after marrying Kosala Devi of Kosala. Then he married Chalana, the youngest daughter of the ruler of Vaishali. In those days, the polygamy was practiced. One can marry with and have the many wives. So this Bimbisar has married one Kosala Devi and another Chalana. One was from the Kosala and got Kasi as a dowry. Chalana was the youngest daughter of ruler of Vaishali. Vaishali again, it is now a city in Bihar. And he maintained friendly relations with the Avanti and Gandhar. He was an efficient administrator, very efficient administrator, and he built many roads and bridges. This is his contribution. Many roads and the bridges were maintained and built during his time period. He traveled from place to place, find whether his people were happy or not. He was taking care of his citizens, the people living in his territorial boundary. But his end was tragic. He lost his life at the hands of his son Ajatasattu. Very tragic end was there of this efficient ruler as a very good administrator. His son only killed him. This is now King Ajatasattu. He was succeeded Bimbisar. Ajatasattu and his successors. First of all, we are coming to discuss about that the Ajatasattu, his role and his contribution. Ajatasattu was the ruler of Magadha from about 492 BC to 460 BC. After Kosala Devi's death, her brother confiscated the town of Kasi. Kasi, as Bimbisar got as a gift after marrying Kosala Devi. So it was confiscated by his brother. This led to a war between Kosala and Magadha. And Ajatasattu won this battle. This battle, Ajatasattu emerged as victorious. He also fought and destroyed the Lichavis of Vaishali, and Magadha became a powerful kingdom of North India. In northern India, now this was the reason behind it, how this Magadha Mahajanpadas became the most powerful in northern India. Ajatasattu called the first Buddhist council at Rajgriha in 487 BC. He was succeeded by his son Udayan. In 460 BC to 364 BC, the city of Patliputra, which is Patna, which became the capital of the empire, was founded by him. So who has founded the capital city? Patliputra. It was by Udayan, son of Ajatasattu. Then causes of the prosperity of Magadha dynasty. This is what were the causes, the reasons behind it. The first of all, ambitious rulers. Rulers were very ambitious. So what it says about that, the kingdom of Magadha owed its rise to the prevailing political, social, economical, military and geographical conditions of the dynasty. Everything. Natural resources, strategic location of capital cities, fertile plain area, increase in tax, strong army, power became a symbol. So with this, the 7 headlines, we are coming to discuss about the prosperity of the Magadha dynasty. How and why the rulers were so ambitious about that. The rulers of Magadha adopted different types of methods to extend their empire. The king Bimbisar adopted matrimonial policy with neighboring kingdoms. Already we have seen the same policy which was adopted by Bimbisar. Kosala Devi and Chalana, Vaishali and Kasi got as a gift, as a dowry. So the same way, these rulers, they were the Bimbisar adopted matrimonial policy. King Ajatasattu annexed by force the regions of Vaishali and Kosala. Bimbisar, matrimonial alliance. Ajatasattu by force. Mahapadmananda annexed Kalinga. Kalinga was a very important territory in the present day in Odisha. All diplomatic policies were geared to achieve one ambition, and that was the rise of Magadha Empire. And these were the reasons for the rise of Magadha Empire. Next topic is about that natural resources. How the natural resources give their full support for the growth and the prosperity of Magadha. Magadha Empire had vast iron ore deposits which helped the rulers to make weapons and tools for industries and agriculture. Natural resources, what is there? The most important is about that iron ore, which is used for making of tools and for industrial development. Then strategic location of capital cities. In the previous slide also we discussed about that, the Rajgriha as well as the Patliputra. Earliest capital of Magadha was Rajgriha, which is surrounded by the hills, and the new capital was Patliputra, situated on the confluence of the Ganga, Gandak and the Son. These are the 3 rivers, where it is on the confluence of Ganga, the Son, the Gandak. These are the 3 rivers which give them the full support. These capitals were impregnable and a great factor in the rise of the kingdom of Magadha. The transport system, means of transport, waterways, then fertile soil, irrigation facilities, all these are provided by these 3 rivers, as well as the well protected this capital city of the country of the kingdom. Then fertile plain area, if you have remembered about that, the formation of the northern plains. Northern plains means that the land which is irrigated by the important rivers. Throughout the year, they have the water in the rivers. So this is about the fertile plain. Magadha kingdom was established on fertile plain area where there was surplus of food grains. Just now we have discussed about that, the 3 rivers which flow through this region, Ganga, Gandak and Son. So this way the proper irrigation facilities there, iron blows were used. So the surplus food grains were produced by the peasants, by the farmers. Agricultural prosperity played a vital role in keeping the kingdom's economy in balance. Economy was completely balanced. With that, the extraordinary production of the food grains, and it helped the kingdom to prosper. This is also one of the most important factor about that, the prosperity of the kingdom. This is about the role of the fertile plain. Increase in trade. There were sufficient facilities for transportation and communication. Three rivers are there. They have a trade business and the commerce relation with that, the land in South India also. So what it says that Magadha, there were sufficient facilities for transportation and communication. The roadways were safe. There was no fear of being robbed. Hence people prospered. Road transport also prospered and there were no fear about that, the robbery or theft. Strong army. After increasing this trade, both inland and the waterways, they are giving their full support about that, the trade and communication.